Мой отец всегда нам говорил, вот ты когда будешь уходить, ислам должен прийти.
You realize that Islam is every bit of the fighter as Khabib.
This guy is a killer. That's some high-level grappling right there.
Gets it done by armbar here tonight as a minus 600 favorite.
Thank you so much.
Hey fight fans, hope you are doing well. In today's video, the fighter we will be talking about is one of the rising lightweight contenders in the UFC, Islam Makhachev. Hailing from Dagestan, Makachev has been one of the promising fighters of the UFC. He was trained under Khabib Nurmagomedov's father Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov and became one of the best wrestlers in Russia and is currently very much in the reckoning for the lightweight title. He is seen by many as the heir apparent to Khabib in Dagestan. Islam and Khabib both are close friends and grew up training together in Dagestan. In today's edition, we will see what kind of lifestyle does Islam have and many other things. So let's begin with
Number 5. Career.
Islam Makachev started his MMA career by first establishing himself as a Sambo artist. He is a gold medal in Sambo and became one of the best talents coming from Dagestan under the tutelage of Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. Islam and Khabib both started their journeys in MMA together.
Relax, brother, relax.
Islam, after gaining some recognition for his exploits, joined the M1 global promotion in Russia. He finished his M1 career unbeaten, where he showcased his potential as an up-and-coming fighter. Makachev continues to be a thorn for his opponents due to his complicated and unconventional style of play. He developed this style thanks to his coach Abdulmanap, who saw the potential in him early in his career. His exploits in M1 Global led to him becoming one of the most promising talents of MMA. This meant that Makachev signed for the UFC in 2014, trying to make a name for himself in the biggest stage of them all. Obviously, there were huge expectations from him that he would make it as a top mixed martial artist, but the competition in the UFC was of the highest caliber that wasn't to be taken easily. Similar to his M1 career, Makachev started off his UFC career with a run of victories defeating fellow newcomers. After going on an unbeaten streak, Makachev started to demand for fights against the top 15.
I say, let's go. Doesn't matter who, because last 3 months so hard for me. I prepare for Beneil, training so hard.
He was given the opportunity to prove himself by facing former lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos, but that fight never happened as both fighters had to withdraw due to COVID. He showed his readiness and capability to fight top challengers by defeating fighters such as Drew Dober and Thiago Moises. Lately, he cemented himself as a top contender by defeating top lightweight contender Dan Hooker at UFC 267 and will be looking to continue in his winning ways by facing another challenger in Beneil Dariush. Many believe that Makhachev is the next contender for Charles Oliveira and the main threat to his title, and few would have doubts on that, as Makhachev has shown his tremendous and world-class traits as a fighter, which would make him the next UFC champion from Dagestan.
Number 4. Net worth.
Makachev is one of the popular MMA artists from Russia and has been the recipient of some decent payouts lately in his UFC career. His fight against Thiago Moises saw him earn $116,000, his highest payout. He has also several Performance of the Night bonuses and a Fight of the Night award in his collection. Islam Makhachev is also sponsored by many brands, such as Al Hadia, the nutrition brand, Gorilla Energy Drink, and many others. He has also a co-sponsored deal with Venom and Crypto.com by way of the UFC as part of its group of fighters where he receives a share of the pie. These endorsements and earnings lead to a net worth of $650,000, and with still a long part of his career to go, those numbers will continue to increase.
Number 3. Has a variety of interests.
Makachev, when he is not fighting, is often seen hanging out with his friends or taking part with them in some high-terrain motorcycle driving in Makhachev. He also has an interest in horse riding and is seen riding his stable of horses once in a while. Makachev and Khabib are mostly seen hanging out with their group of friends in Dagestan or during fight camps. Most of them are fellow fighters and were trained under Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov.
Number 2. The guys from Dagestan are a fun group.
His exterior gives us the look of a no-nonsense kind of guy, but he is a funny guy around his friends and training partners. He once hilariously called out Floyd Mayweather, saying that the UFC needs to book a fight with him, also calling out Brock Lesnar as well.
Hey, Dana, I want a money fight. Give me Mayweather. Woo! hey, DC, tell this guy I deserve for top 15, or I wanna fight with Brock Lesnar.
He and his fellow fighters from Dagestan are all of the same kind. The group is very close with each other and accompany each other most of the times during their fight camps. The brotherhood is strong amongst the boys, and it is quite evident as each one of them takes great pride in each other's victory. Now, time for a fun fact.
Fun fact.
For those who don't know, Makachev holds the rare accolade of being the least hit fighter in UFC history. He has absorbed the least amount of strikes so far in his UFC career, and that is largely due to his technician-like style of play. Now, back to the video.
Number 1. Khabib and his father has been a huge influence on him.
Makhachev's career has been shaped and guided by his coach Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov, and to some degree influenced by the great Khabib Nurmagomedov. In fact, Khabib and Makhachev both grew up under the tutelage of Abdulmanap. He had a plan for both of them, where once Khabib achieved his goal of becoming the lightweight champion and retiring undefeated with 29 wins, Islam would have to succeed him as the next lightweight champion. It was very important that Islam fulfill this dream of his coach, as he was one of Abdulmanap's favorite students, and he surely seems to be on his way of accomplishing that goal. He used to accompany Makachev in the corner during his fights in M1 Global, and now his son Khabib has taken up the responsibility of helping Makachev reach his goal by mentoring him during fight camps and actively taking part in it. Makachev, on the influence of his coach Abdulmanap and his son Khabib, states that in order to establish himself in the same bracket as them, there is still a long way to go. He says, "I want to be like Khabib, you know. He is a great man, you know. He is a champion, he has a lot of money now, a lot of everything, but he's still a humble guy." In an article from MMA Fighting, he further adds, "I'm training with him all the time. He gives me very big support. This is not pressure for me. I'm just happy because I have some guy like him on my back." Both him and Khabib trained under Javier Mendez at AKA, and he dedicates much of his success to them by saying that they helped him improve his overall game as a fighter. Right from childhood, the brotherhood amongst them is strong. It is believed, according to their close friend Rizvan Magomedov, that when both were active fighters in the 155-pound division of the UFC didn't favor Makhachev that much, as he would have probably beaten many of the top contenders, but would have refused to fight Khabib had they met at the top end of the rankings. Khabib is often seen motivating him at corners during his fight and believes that the time has come for Islam to take up his mantle as the next UFC champion from Dagestan. By doing so, he will fulfill the plan laid out by his coach Abdulmanap Nurmagomedov. Makachev has now become one of the most feared and great lightweights of the UFC. According to many, it's just a matter of time until the lightweight from Dagestan becomes the next lightweight champion of the UFC. And finally, after looking at Makhachev's net worth, his lifestyle, and career, his net worth stands at $650,000, and that will surely increase with the Dagestani still having a lot of his career to look forward to. And look at that, we have come to the end of the video. But before leaving, we would like to know your views on Islam Makhachev's lifestyle, his career, and his personality. And do you believe he's going to be the next best lightweight of the UFC? Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Until next time.